Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel it to each. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's gonna clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's gonna open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is gonna protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is gonna make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Teej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night.
And because Teej is sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description to get 30% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. By the way, both gifts you're choosing from are a $20 value and a complete game changer. A silicone body scrubber or a nail and face grooming kit. Personally, I prefer the silicone body scrubber. I don't like using towels when I travel, so the body scrubber is an excellent way to open up the pores and get the body clean. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today.
You guys' brains a little bit, but it says adults chasing the popularity they missed out on as a teenager are the worst. Adults chasing the popularity they missed out on as a teenager are the worst. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off with you first, Marcus. Man, when you see this post, in the echo too. Marcus, on the echo.
You say I'm echoing? Well, I'm good.
You good? I'm still hearing it.
Let me see.
All right, I'm gonna come back to you while you work on it. I'm gonna go to you, Trev. When you see this post right here, what comes to mind?
Very true. You can absolutely see it. Mostly on social media. That's where we are able to do that. Posting our highlight reels, showing that we're doing well, looking for validation that we never got as a kid. I mean, you have an opportunity to do it because you could fake it now, right? You're not counting on people seeing it in real life, right? Nobody's really pulling a curtain. So whatever I decide to show you is whatever's perceived, right? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you, like, look, I done bought these new J's, or look, I done got a new car. Look at this, look, I got the flyest outfit on. We having all the fun in the club. And you know, it's all about validation, man. People just are insecure about themselves, and most of us as humans, it's not us to be pure, right? But it's what you do with that insecurity. Do you need to project a whole bunch of things? Do you need to act like you're someone else, right? We're just living our lives through social media. Like I said, it's not real, right? We're just living a different life on social media. What we have to understand is that you can't look at that as an outsider and think that somebody else is doing well. You can't follow it and try to adjust your lifestyle based on what you see somebody else doing, because most of the time it's fake, right? Young ladies in particular are now able to get validation like crazy, right? Maybe they're insecure about themselves. They could just throw a filter on and look like a beautiful woman all of a sudden, right? And you can get all the attention that you want, all the likes, all the eggplant emojis that you desire without even leaving your house effortlessly, right? You don't even have to put on makeup anymore. You just literally throw on a filter and you look amazing. And there's a lot of dudes doing it now. I'm hearing a lot about this soft guy era. Pause.
What?
Like dudes is out here like really trying to be a bad bitch for real, for real. Like I'm seeing a lot more of that lately too. We want the attention. I'm seeing dudes out here with the filters too. Y'all need to stop that for real. Like cut that out. Stop putting on filters. If you are a grown ass man, you ain't got no business rocking a filter in 2024 or any year to follow for that matter. Cut it out. I'm gonna let some of the other gents get in on this.
All right. I'll go to you. Marcus, you ready?
All right, am I still echoing?
No, I think you're good now.
Okay. I think we talked about this a long time ago when I was saying like it was an era where you just had to be him and other people had to speak for you. You couldn't really self-promote. It was like an era of publicity. So what you was, and it was through proof of the concepts that you like. You were who you were. People could verify it. They could see who you were, and then interacting with you is the only way that they could verify it. Nowadays, you get a check or whatever them little marks they are that say you verify online, and they'll co-sign a lie. They'll co-sign anything. And you got people who like center their life around that. Like they literally wake up every day and this is what they do, right? And shout out to them. I'm all for people leveling up and getting money and doing, you know what I'm saying? Finding a way to monetize doing that. But it take it to another level when, like Trev said, you seeking some type of validation that you ain't get. That shit going and came, big dog. Look, when it mattered, you had to matter. If you don't matter on that level, I don't know what to tell you. This the family season. When you get older and you trying to just, you know what I'm saying, be there for your priorities shift and change. Like there was a point in time where all I was concerned about was being the man. And then I got older and I just became concerned about being a man, right? The man was make sure my whip is it, make sure the fit was it, make sure when I pull up is you know, all of that. When I became a man, I started to center different adults in my life. Like, damn, my grandfather moved all these people from the South and he was the staple in the home. He held them down. Yeah, he was a bus driver, but that bus driver was loved and he did what was necessary for his family because he was a man. The big homie when I was growing up that was the man, he was locked up by that time. And he wasn't a man for his family, right? So as you get older, you're supposed to shift your perspective about what's important. And it's weird. It's like you see somebody in the rec league trying to have 50 and training and shit every day. Like you don't got to go to work on Monday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you go get a call up from the YMCA. Like, bro, that ain't where it's at, man. You gotta, I get if you doing it for fun, but you gotta reprioritize, big dog. It's over. The time that came and went. The time that came and went. And to spend your time mad about it or sending shots at other people that you mad about from high school, you got to heal. You got to let that shit go, man. You just got to let it go. You are who you are. You was who you was before you got here. That's it.
All right. I'm going to go to the Manic Genius. I got a question for you. Do you believe that achieving popularity as an adult will fulfill a void from your teenage years, or is it driven by other factors?
Before I answer that question, I want to address the real Mr. White. I feel personally attacked. I identify as that guy in the rec leagues, trying to drop 40, waking up early in the morning, getting my shots up.
Hey, look, look, I have people who be trying to get me to come to leagues. I'm like, bro, you're not going to catch me old and not hooping no more and try and get your leg back. You should have got it when it was time. It's a wrap. You just going to have to live with the Marcus. It's in history books.
Yeah, my bad, JR. What was the question again?
The question is, do you believe that achieving popularity as an adult will fulfill a void from your teenage years, or is it driven by other factors?
I think Trev Smooth hit on it. I think it really stems from insecurity of not being that person who you are. So you look for that validation, you seek that validation, and if you never got that validation early on in life, you're still going after it. And especially with social media, I feel like it's a lot times an opportunity for people who are not getting it in real life to create a new image online and, live through that. So I think that to answer your question, JR, it definitely holds truth. I think that people who actually get it, we don't have to disguise ourselves online and, perpetrate that we have it now. And we're not seeking that level of attention because we just know we got it.
All right. We'll go to you, Darwin.
So you said adults chasing popularity they missed out on tend to be the worst. I mean, I would say the reason why they're probably doing that is because they're probably late to maturity. But saying that they're the worst, that is where I kind of feel disconnected as far as understanding go. I don't know what makes them the worst. I don't know what that pertains to.
I think
Like
it's
in
hyperbole.
regards to what? Like just life, relationships, business. I don't know.
I think it's hyperbole. I don't think he mean it literally. Like they worse than serial killers. I think he mean it like, dude, you the worst. You know what I'm saying? Hyperbolically speaking.
Right. So like when people say stuff like that, if I'm in a dialogue with them, I would tend to like ask for more context on that. Like, okay, what are they the worst at? Like just being around, being in the circle, talking to, or what? Like being associated with. I don't know. Like what makes them the worst? Because I would say somebody's looking for popularity on a teenage level. I mean, it's really nothing, as an adult. It's really something I can just overlook. It ain't nothing. Okay, good for you. So I mean, that's all I can say about that until we actually get further into this live stream. It looked like Shannon got something to say though.
I
Man,
don't think,
Shannon, you got your camera square on your face, man.
yeah, man, you got your tracking on. I don't think he fully set up yet, man. I'm gonna go to you, Viz.
Shannon just letting y'all know he keep it in frame at all times. I'm in frame at all times, he say.
Yeah, I think I agree with Darwin. I mean, I feel like that's such an open statement, man. Are they, what type of popularity are they chasing? How are they chasing it? I think that those questions matter, in regards to this.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question then. Are there alternative paths to fulfillment and self-worth that you've explored aside from seeking popularity?
Of course, absolutely. And I feel that I would say that I've been fairly popular or whatnot throughout life, but I think just with me chasing the things the goals that I've set forth and having the platform to show other people what it is that I'm doing. I think that was more of a positive in a sense. So that's why I'm kind of torn by it. Are these people clout chasing? You know what I'm saying? If you clout chasing, then yeah, absolutely. But there's always been clout chasers, and those same clout chasers been like that since day one, or they're at the extreme now. So I just think that it varies with this topic in particular.
And Viz, you look like you around my age or maybe on the same. I would say popularity was different from, 80s babies or 70 babies versus these guys. Clout chasing. I'm trying to figure out what was that whenever you grew up in the 90s. You get what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think popularity for different generations was different.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now popularity is off us going in Walmart and pranking somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit lame as hell. You know what I'm saying? But the only people that's doing it are lames. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know. I'm kind of still
Yeah,
torn by that.
popularity for me was, and when I was coming up, was having a cell phone in school. A lot of people didn't have that. I think
Right.
today everybody got a damn phone, or even
Right.
being able to drive to school. Man, a lot of kids, a lot of us, you know, growing up in the 90s, we didn't have vehicles. We couldn't drive vehicles to high school and stuff. I mean, we just couldn't afford it. So if you had one, like it didn't even have to be like a nice car. Just
Yeah, just the
a
fact that
car,
you
bro.
drive
You can
to
get all the
school.
women. You know what I mean?
Hey, you go pick the guys up, nigga. We go on to school. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 37. I was born in 86.
Same
So
here, 86.
yes, sir. So
Y'all,
for
y'all
me,
some young men. I got y'all about at least 5-6 years. Shit.
so for me, having a cell phone in high school was having the brick phone with the, you know what I'm saying, illuminated keypad with the hologram on the Nokia and the flashing antenna. You know what I'm saying? That if you had that shit, hey, you was one of them peoples. Or if you had the chirp, you had both of them, had the Nextel with the chirp. You know what I'm saying? You was one of them guys. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn by it.
All
By the
right.
statement.
I'm going to go to Kenny P. What steps can you take to cultivate genuine connections and confidence, independent of external validation or popularity?
That changed. You did telephone. That sounded different than what you originally asked.
That's a hell of a question, JR.
Yeah,
Shit.
hey.
Put that shit in layman's terms, man.
That changed different than the popularity question. There was more nuance to it.
I was just trying to go ahead.
Let's stay in that. When that question is asked, I think about Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Street thug, Queens, hustler, boxer. Get it how he got it. Went through a lot. Gained notoriety. Became immensely popular. That drug became an addiction. Didn't change the person who he was. But that was like taking that needle in the arm. It just made him more of what he was. Popularity is addictive, and for people to say, I hear what Marcus says, but if there's something that you didn't have and you're getting swooned upon for a certain thing, it's hard. If you're not truly grounded, it's hard to pull away from it. People love gratification. People love to be loved in this life where we get more boos than ovations. So when I hear, okay, just grow up, don't pay attention to it, it's hard to take that crack pipe out your mouth once you taste it. I digress.
Hey, Kenny, you think 50 was you think he like popularity driven? I feel like he used that as a means to get to money. It's not really like it don't define him. Because if that was
Okay,
the case,
Marcus. Okay, just say I know through somebody, he had a lot of money.
right.
When they dropped him on his contract, they gave him that money. When they dropped him from, what was it, Interscope or one of them places? What do you think he did with that money?
Invested it. Let's say invested
He
it.
invested it, and he
Yeah.
made a whole lot. He had a certain part of Queens locked down. You
Allegedly.
understand?
I think
He had bread.
I think the most important question is to probably ask Kenny how long he been sober. That's a powerful thing, bro. I know a lot of people that smoked crack cocaine and was not able to. So shout out to you, brother, for being able to get off of that shit, bro.
I don't know what that means, but here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it.
Hold on. Wait. Wait. Were you referring to you?
Okay, I'm gonna get off of that, and I'm gonna refer back to the person I made the point about 50, right? Curtis Jackson. Now, if I can take what Darwin said and respond to it, he never been sober. He done seen the slow bucks on stage when he was playing with his son, taking pictures. You done seen the gunplay backstage when you felt big enough to walk by him and Mike Knox. You done seen the slap heard around the world when what's his name? Forget his name, light skinned guy.
Will Smith.
Will Smith?
No. Another rapper.
Talking about that
Egyptian.
Ja Rule.
French.
No,
You talking about
Egyptian.
French Montana?
French Montana, the slap heard around the world. No, he ain't sold up nothing. The worst thing you could do is give an intelligent hoodlum a whole lot of resources and popularity, and people actually glorify him for it. Don't mess with 50. It comes a point of his pettiness and his prowess for violence is accepted as a norm within culture. And that,
What do you
that
have
is
against
also
50?
Huh?
What do you have against 50?
What do I have against 50, or did I make a point using him? I didn't. It was not ad hominem attack. Everything that I said there you could point out as for and fact check as for true.
See, so I think that's one of those situations as to where it depends on what's being used to it. What 50 did is develop a character. Early on in his career, he understood that America loves a bad guy. So, and he won off of it. So for him to change it, now he's a corporate bad guy. So I don't necessarily fault him for it. You know, he just literally just went and played the character that he decided to become in this society, and he's working for him to his advantage.
Viz, I would challenge that because he said a statement within a documentary after he got those 9 shots. He became insensitive. He realized that his life wasn't his no more, that he could die any day. So he became ruthless at that point.
Get rich or die trying.
As he does his business moves and how he's petty about dealing with people. And he takes on all comers. It's not a character. That's the real person. And he uses popularity. It drives him. He's more popular for being who he is. He's not a facade like most people.
Right. No, I get what you're saying, but that's his character though. You know what I'm saying? Everyone on this panel has a character. The person that you are, as far as from what I've seen as Kenny P, that's your character. You know what I'm saying? If you don't agree with something, you're gonna outright challenge that shit. That's who you are. That's your character. So I don't think that is any different from someone, you know, deciding to be this and just walking their life and doing such.
Fair. That's a fair assessment. But I didn't want to stray too far from the popularity and how infectious it can be. So I land my plane there.
All right, let me go ahead and get Brother Hinkin now. What are your thoughts about it, sir? Adults chasing the popularity they missed out on as a teenager.
Oh, real quick. Day, tread carefully tonight. It's loaded.
God damn. First thing first, y'all better leave the goddamn Gucci alone. I don't know why y'all keep fucking with my dog. Y'all better leave him alone. Man, shout out to Kanye West, man. I fuck the fame. I just want the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get my Al Bundy stories. You know, I scored 6 touchdowns in one goddamn game. Fuck the fame. But you got cats still want to hold on to that. And like you said, JR, they want to get what they didn't get from high school because that girl didn't, accept the invitation to the prom. Nope. So now he's trying to get her back. Every time he gonna post some silly shit online, making sure she sees it. I think that's how some of these lame dudes are doing. And it's sad that these are hard ankles doing it. I don't expect that. I expect the women to do it because they love the attention. They live off of it. They thrive off them. Heifers love it. But you dudes, man, what are y'all doing out here? It's hard to tell y'all from the women. The way y'all moving, the way y'all talking, the way y'all acting and carrying on. That's crazy, man. So yeah, I think a lot of dudes are acting like that, trying to flash back to the, you know, class of '95 or a class of 2000, whatever the case may be, because they miss out on some shit they wish they could never have. And I hate to see the next dude who's striving and maybe grew up and, like you said, it's not still mentally stuck back in that time. They'd have moved on. And you got, like Marcus said, you got to grow up. You got to become a man, and act like it. So,
Hey, go ahead, Luis.
Damn, homie. In high school, you used to be the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? Unfortunately, that statement stands true. Look, every moment that we live in our lives, it's an opportunity to like really seize it and really do something with it. High school is high school, college is college, and once we step into, you know, adulthood or, you know, professionalism or business, whatever, that's a completely different opportunity. Every stage has its own chapter to be written. You can't go back and rewrite whatever moments you missed in high school, but you could go back and look at the lessons that you learned from missing those opportunities, or, you know, thinking about things that you could do better in the future and rewriting your own story differently moving forward. I think it's rather sad, because as opposed to having a generation of intelligent, well-to-do, astute men that are living proof examples of what the younger generation could aspire to, they're unfortunately seeing them copy the same young antics as the younger people. And sort of, I think it's sort of like it's like history kind of, you know, rewinding itself, but in a very ineffective way. So that's all I got.
All right, go ahead, Brother Shan.
Sorry for my tardiness. I'm not even sure if you guys played a video that matches this, but I wouldn't need it.
No, it wasn't no video. It was just a slide.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Adults chasing the popularity they missed out on as a teenager. J.R. Patton. Adults, you know, do they? Do adults chase popularity they missed out on as a teenager and try to get that as an adult? You know, kids who wanted to be popular, in my personal experience, kids who wanted to be popular and didn't get it, they didn't chase it as an adult either. They just weren't popular. You know, they were probably more introverted, didn't give a fuck about popularity, didn't care about what other people thought as a child, as a teenager in high school. Even shit, go back to middle school. Just did what they went to school, did what they needed to do. These are the people that wasn't the in crowd, wasn't at the table, you know, during lunchtime and where everybody hung out. They didn't give a fuck about all of that. And so I would argue that those who wanted popularity as a child got it. And I'm thinking about I'm thinking about everybody in my high school. I want you guys to think about everybody that you went to school with. All the popular kids were popular for a reason, for whatever reason, whether it was because they were ballers, that they played ball, or because they were good looking, or because they dressed really well. They always came to school super fresh. You know, the ones that wanted popularity or wanted to be seen, they got it as a child. Rarely I can't think of anybody that as a child wanted popularity and then it wasn't until later on they got it. Now, we know how people, you know, women particularly, how they can blossom. They look, you know, the ugly duckling turning into a swan, how girls maybe super skinny or face wasn't right or something, or they did all this trying to make this extra makeup, trying to be popular, looking a mess, maybe popular for the wrong reasons. And then it transcended into their adulthood. But I can't think anybody that was popular that missed out on it as a teenager that's trying to do it as an adult. Now, what I can do is tell you, I know there's people who were popular and they fell off. I know there's people that was popping in high school, popping in middle school, had it all. Everybody wanted to be like them, wanted to dress like them, wanted to hang out with them. And then in their 20s, I mean, Lewis just dropped the bars. Damn, homie. Back in the day, you was the man. What the fuck happened to you? That is a story that I think all of us can think about. Know somebody that was like that. You good, Viz? Yeah, I know. I think that you guys can think of somebody that had it going on in high school and fell the fuck off. And typically it's because their realness became fake and more exposed as their peers got older and wiser, and they realized, oh, you was fake all along. And you can't continue that into your adulthood once people start getting wise and catching on. And I think if based on this, that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, adults chasing popularity they missed out as a teenager, I think this is a good story or a good lesson for parents or people who soon to be parents, and to try your best to instill authenticity into your kids. Do not be that, it's a different discussion, but don't be the parent that lives vicariously through your child, having your children do shit that you wish that you did, that you couldn't do. And now you got your kid out there doing all this extra shit that they don't want to do naturally. That could be a big blowback later on in their lives. I think it's super important that anybody that has children or anybody that plans to have kids, to make sure that their kids, to try to instill as much authenticity in their children as possible. You as a parent, pay attention, men particularly, pay attention to your kids and make sure that they are who they want to be, not necessarily who you want them to be. Because if you try to get them to be who you want them to be, they might become popular as a kid, and that should take a nosedive when they get to college. But that's all I got on it.
Man, the piggyback off that real quick, with Shannon saying that, it immediately made me remember the Von Erich story. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It was a wrestling family.
Bunch of wrestlers, Kerry Von Erich, the other ones, the dad.
Yeah. So the dad was gung-ho about, achieving a certain level, and he put that stress upon his kids. And essentially, I want to say three of the brothers, they all killed themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just from taking on that stress of dad putting on them to become the best wrestler. So I 100% agree with Shannon on that, man. That's definitely a slippery slope to be on, but we see it a lot.
Wouldn't y'all agree that that's an example of what he asking?
Somewhat, yeah, in a sense, but I think, but again, that goes back to my first statement of, it depends on the person. It depends on their why. A person's why is everything. So if your why is just off of clout, you know what I'm saying, then shit, that's dangerous compared to your why being something that actually motivates and moves you to influence other people, and that's how you live forever.
So, all right, and I could give you another real world example, Shannon. Say you have a friend that wanted to be part of the in crowd, like how clubs got certain promotion groups that they always keep the athletes entertained in their group when you go to the club, right? And they, they pretty much follow these certain promoters, and they couldn't get in the club and kick it because they didn't have the connections or the popularity with them. I've seen people prioritize that over their families, raising their families so they could be part of the in crowd and popping on IG or Twitter, maybe, I don't know. And in doing so, they sacrifice their whole family in order to obtain that. To me, that's the worst, bro. Not the worst as in worse than, but hyperbolically speaking, that's the worst. So when I'm thinking about it, I'm not saying like you wanted to be somebody in high school, so you excelled and you're bad for doing that. No, I applaud that. What I'm talking about is people, the way I interpreted the question, people prioritizing things that are not to the benefit of them and those around them as adults, when we should have transitioned to different phases based off of trying to obtain the popularity from that they, or the acknowledgement, the validation of popularity they didn't receive when they were younger. I
How
think
does popularity take you off of
I think the art.
your goals?
so. Like the example I was just explaining, Kenny, about the family, that would be an example of that, where
But that
you
would be
want to
the
make.
exception.
So when I'm answering the question, I'm speaking to those type of things. I don't think everybody is out here chasing popularity. Well, you know,
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Even that
You know what I'm
subset though,
saying?
Mark. So even that subset, and I hear what you're saying, but remember, you started your story off with somebody in college. You started your story off with somebody that was going to the clubs. So if we're talking about a club age guys, that's not part of the in crowd, they couldn't get in, and they really wanted to get in.
No, not college promoters. This is after college. I'm talking about
Okay, even
college.
after that's even worse. I mean, but the question is asking about people that lost it, that wanted to be popular as a teenager and couldn't be, and then grew up and was trying to chase it. So I would argue that the guy that you're talking about that wants to be with the athletes, but he's not on the squad. He's trying to hang out with y'all to get the girls. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna drive, but he can't really get in. He can't get in, which he can't move. He doesn't have the access. He probably had some kind of popularity in his. He's the guy I was talking about that was probably popping in high school that nobody really knew that he was fake. And then when he got around real ball players, your ballers was like, this nigga's a lame. I don't want him to be around.
Yeah. And what would you call him? What would you call him?
He's a reverse.
Impersonator.
Yeah, that's what I interpreted the question to be. Various degrees of that.
Oh yeah, I was going straight in the linear fashion. You wanted to be popular as a teenager, and then when you got an adult, you trying to now chase what you couldn't get as a teenager. I would say that guy is the guy that was probably popular as a teenager, and then when he got around real adults and real ballers and real players, they knew that it was a lame and they kept him out. So, but I hear what you're saying, though. I totally understand what you're saying.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and transition to the next topic. You guys just tuning in. Welcome to King Talks. Make sure you hit that like button, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go to move on to our next topic. Got a clip I'm gonna play.
Most masculine men have the courage to love. And I think men who are insecure, who are hollow in their masculinity, want to be worshipped. But men who are rich and mature in their manhood know the power of loving. It's different than wanting to be loved. It's actually having the courage to love.
How love makes you more masculine. You think this is true? I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Viz.
Absolutely, man. I want to say it was Jordan Peterson that said something along the lines of a dangerous man is a man that can love. Simply by acknowledging the power that we have as men, and being able to contain that beast out of compassion or love for others. So I 100% agree with what he just said with that. Is being able to not be fearful on taking on that risk of what may come, and if whatever risk may come, facing it head on. So I think I agree with what he was saying for sure.
Okay, we'll go to you, Darwin. In your experience, have you found that embracing love has enhanced or challenged your sense of masculinity, and why?
I would say it enhanced it. The reason why I would say it enhanced it because loving is a form of sacrifice. That means that you're expressing a feeling or a care for something that's greater than that, maybe greater than yourself. So it's gonna take it's gonna put some type of enhancement on your masculinity, and make you look at things as, okay, this is the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? By all means necessary, I got to make sure X, Y, and Z is taken care of. And if it ain't, I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to do whatever I can to make it happen. Even if I miss a meal, I lose sleep, or a lot of the things that, you know, I desire or want for myself may not come. That takes a real, you really got to internalize that in yourself to be able to make a sacrifice like that. So in it of itself, I would say would be an enhancement on your masculinity. But I can also see how loving a woman, the results and the interaction between loving a woman could kind of challenge your masculinity. Because depending on what woman you're dealing with, she could, you know, push you or motivate you or influence you in a certain way where you try to cater to her sensitivity. And you can't be all hoorah and all, you know, straightforward and logical. You actually gotta be you gotta have that emotional connection. So you're gonna have to tap into a little softer side of yourself. So I could see, and there might be some better words to represent what I'm saying, but I could see why that would be challenging for some people who love somebody as far as their masculinity.
I think if I could say this real quick too, one thing that I've learned, especially in my later years, was the power in vulnerability. Not only with my spouse, but with family, with my loved ones, and however that may look for men. I think that there's so much power in vulnerability, but especially as Black men, growing up in the hood, showing vulnerability can get you killed, you know what I'm saying, or unalived. So there's that thin line of knowing, you know, when to show it, when not to show it, but being mature enough to know and understand the power in it.
All right, I'm gonna play a clip one more time, and then I'm gonna go to the next person.
Most masculine men have the courage to love. And I think men who are insecure, who are hollow in their masculinity, want to be worshiped. But men who are rich and mature in their manhood know the power of loving. It's different than wanting to be loved. It's actually having the courage to love.
All right. I'm gonna go to you, the Manic Genius. Have you encountered any resistance or pushback from peers or society when expressing love in ways that diverge from traditional masculine norms?
To answer it in short, yes. Um, I just want to first say I absolutely love making love. So that's always something that's very masculine. But I actually liked what Darwin said. Love, true love, when you can do it, is going outside of yourself and be willing to sacrifice. Now, you know, society will tell you to do every which thing, go every which way. But at the end of the day, you have to understand where you are, who you are, and what you're capable of. And, you know, that takes, you know, self-reflection and, you know, digging deep, sometimes introspection, to find out, you know, where you want to go and to define that vision. So a lot of times people won't understand that vision. And it's not for them to understand. It's for you to go through the process and that journey and build up your maturity and masculinity. And so love is a part of that process. Because as Vis the poet said, and I think what Jordan Peterson was trying to get at is a man who understands the beast that he has within and can tame that beast is the most powerful man. So I think that most people in society don't have their shit together. And so if you listen to society, they will have you going every which way, depending on what room you step in. And that's not masculine.
Okay. What's wrong, Kenny P?
All these tender lover, Eric Benet barefoot burning candle. What the yo? Do not get that word confused with nothing. Masculine ain't got nothing to do with love, strength, courage, leadership.
That's your opinion, sir.
Okay. You don't come up on a group of men telling you I make love. Come on, you lost me. So
that's also your opinion, sir.
So yeah,
I just did it.
That's why we're on
That's
a
some
panel.
masculine
Give
shit.
our opinions. So here we go. Strength, courage, leadership. Vis the poet gave poetic inference. That does not denote love, which is vulnerability. That got nothing to do with you being masculine. To be a masculine man, you following your purpose. Vulnerability and love is a whole different subsect of things.
I think you missed my point. My point was referencing Darwin and understanding that
You're
sometimes
internalizing.
when
I'm
you
giving
love,
my point of view.
when you love, you can put people above yourself. You can put your vision above yourself. You can make sacrifice. And that's what I'm saying. Masculine men know how to lead and they know how to make sacrifice. So there, I just did it. I
You heard what you
incorporated
did?
love.
You led with
masculinity.
love, not masculinity.
It doesn't matter what I lead with. I incorporate it all together.
No. What do you lead with? If I'm a tender lover and I'm on that battlefront with Shannon, he don't want me there. Guess what he want? He want that dog of war. He don't want nobody
that's
with
a different
vulnerability.
situation.
He don't want the guy in Private Ryan that watched his man get killed and crumble by the steps. He don't want that. He want this.
Well, when outside of war, outside of war, when you're developing a vision for your family,
sir, put on some boots. Stop burning that aromatherapy.
You have love, and you have to have self-love.
Wait, hold on. Let me get him on this one. So I think the only way for that man to be on the front line like that is that he has to have a love for something. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
Much
Something greater than himself.
He has
poetic
has
inference.
checkmate.
You want a dog.
That's just a fact, bro. If you got the dog, if you got the dog in you for something, there has to be some type of fire, some type of love, some type of passion behind it. That's gonna make you get out there.
I want to get home.
Let me finish. So even like with the scene that you use the reference.
Hold on. If you want to get home, you shouldn't be on the battlefield anyway.
Let me finish this. Even with the reference you use of Saving Private Ryan, my man's watching him. You know what I'm saying? Get the knife pushed into him, and he just sitting there whimpering. Right?
We be cooking, man.
The only
2024.
That man sitting there watching him do that.
Fellas, y'all being real rude to Viz. Come on, man.
My bad.
The only way that man is sitting there watching him do that is because he don't have that passion, that fire, that love in him for his fellow man. You know what I'm saying? His comrade. So I want a motherfucker that's passionate, that's full of love, and that shit is burning in them on my side, front line. No,
I respond to that, Shannon. If I'm standing side to side of you and we at the breach, do you want me emotional or you want me to cut off all of that and get to work?
Emotion and love is two. That's
completely
two different things.
Bro.
Okay, it's love and emotion.
It is.
It's one of many emotions.
So you just contradicted what you said.
No, I didn't. Emotional intelligence is the same thing as love.
Okay,
can you be in love and have emotional intelligence?
Said it's not. Then he contradicted himself. Once I said, "Is love and emotion?" He said, "Yes."
I don't think you understand what you just asked, and I don't think
no.
What he said.
I'm pretty sure you weren't listening intently. If you have a question directly to answer, ask me. I can answer. Don't piggyback another man's thing. That's Vis the poet.
Okay, if he's right, then he's right.
So like I said, in that context, a person that loves something, I'm not, and they on the front line. That you referencing in the sense of of, oh my God, I don't want to kill this person, I don't want to unalive this person, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're making my point.
All right, hold tight, y'all. Let me get Luis in there, and then we'll come back around. Go ahead, Luis. What are your thoughts about what's going on? Does love make you more masculine?
I would concur with the brother poet what he just said. I think that there is a component that there's a form of passion behind that it fuels that man. But I also understand like what Kenny's trying to kind of create. He's essentially trying to say like it's better to be a warrior in a garden than be a gardener in a war. And sort of, I think it's like the juxtaposition. Like there's a lot of men who are for self rather than being selfless, right? There's a purpose behind it. And does love make you more masculine? I think it allows you to be grounded in your masculinity. I think there's a little bit more focus, right? But I don't think necessarily that it's packaged in the way that we tend to kind of see it in our current like popular culture, right? It looks completely different in terms of how it's packaged. But I think that that it has the components of, integrity. It has, all the components of, reassurance, right? And I think that all those are very important ingredients in terms of trying to define, does love, make you more masculine?
All right. Let me go to Trev. Trev, do you believe there's a difference between how love is portrayed in popular media versus how it's experienced in real life, particularly concerning its impact on masculinity?
Yeah. And I'll say this. I'm kind of with KP on this joint. I don't feel like love and masculinity are synonymous or even necessarily linear. I think that they are absolutely independent. And from what the gentlemen were just talking about, love isn't the only thing that can fuel you. I can be fueled by hatred. I've seen many people who are fueled by hatred.
That is a form of love. That's a form of love.
Yeah, I'm not with you. I'm not with you on that one.
The only way you can hate something is love something.
Hold on, y'all. Gotta let them finish. Let them finish.
I don't. Yeah. I completely disagree with that. Hatred will have you do things that are completely different than loving someone. There's a reason why they're on the opposite sides of the spectrum. I will say that they are inverted. I'll say that's the similarity. They are inverted, but hatred is absolutely is different than love, in my opinion. I think that you can absolutely be masculine without necessarily loving. It's something different, right? It doesn't take away from it. I do strongly feel that masculine men can love. There is a different type of love that you can get, right? Me as a man, if I consider myself to be masculine, I can love. I will be a protector. I will be a provider. I will love my family. But it doesn't mean that I have to be a loving person to be masculine. That's the only point that I would make with that. I don't think that they're one and the same. You can have masculinity in the absence of love, in my opinion. So you was going to say something on Viz about that?
Yeah. And this may be a little off topic, well, still on topic, but a group of the most masculine, vicious warriors that we've ever known are the Athens, the Spartans, right? And the Spartans were who they were because they loved Sparta. They loved what it was that they were fighting for. And with that love, they were able to go to the Devil's Peak or whatever it was called in Persia and fight off 10,000, Persians with 300 warriors. There's only one way that you can do that, and that's with love. You gotta have love and passion for something. in order to pull that off.
Well,
and them niggas was dogs.
I get that, right? Now, that is a scenario that you mentioned that they are fighting in the name of something. But let's just say we have a bigot, right? Let's say we have a racist. Maybe they just hate for whatever reason. There's some people who hate women, right? It doesn't mean that they love men. It just means that they hate women. And they will react because they hate women. You don't have to fight for the love of something. You can literally just hate something and be passionate about it without loving it at all.
Well, what we got to understand is when you express love for something in particular, without a shadow of a doubt, the results of it can make you more masculine. And we're not trying to say love is masculinity.
Right.
We're saying the result of expressing the love in this particular way can make you masculine.
That was kind of the point that people were making just now, though.
Yeah, for example, if I love a woman who's feminine and I'm a heterosexual man, I'm 10 times out of 10, I'm going to be masculine. It's going to make me more masculine. And if I love football as a sport, the workouts, being around the brothers and all those strenuous things I'm taking my body to, is going to make me more masculine emotionally and physically. So loving something in particular, the results of it can, in return, make you more masculine, depending on what it is. And I like what the gentleman said. He said you have the courage to do it. That means you have to be brave about expressing a love. And it makes sense because if you aren't, that means you're kind of insecure about something.
So Darwin, what would you say about a man? What would you say about a man who just says, all right, look, maybe he tried this love thing quite a few times. It didn't work out in the way that he wanted to, and he just decided to check out. Does that mean he can no longer be masculine because he just does not want to engage in that anymore? Maybe he just wants to worry about himself. Maybe he just doesn't want to love because it just didn't work out for him, right? Because maybe everybody who he ran into was a POS and it just didn't work out, right? So he did his vetting and he still got screwed, and he just like, you know what, man, I'm not doing this love thing. I'm cool. Does that make him no longer masculine?
No.
If he was masculine,
making a decision on the best interest, on your best interest, doesn't disqualify you from being. It doesn't make you less masculine by making a decision for a sound judgment.
I think it makes you weak.
I would never sit up here and convince anybody listening that making sound judgment would make.
No, not making a sound judgment. Not that.
Well, that's considered sound judgment. Would you agree, Trav?
No. If you have poor results and you say, I'm just going to give up on the game because I have poor results.
I don't think he put the disclaimer that it was poor results.
Well, no, Trev just said that. If you have a guy who's been loving and he's had bad results and he decides, you know what, I'm giving up on the game, that's weak, because a masculine man is going to sit back, have some self-reflection, and realize that he has poor discernment for the women he's choosing.
Right.
And then
so now you said
his
poor
approach.
Discernment. So you're saying that he had poor. So now you're saying.
All right. Well, now we're walking into a slippery slope, because now are you saying that every man who has bad experiences with women, they've had poor discernment? I'm sure that discernment absolutely helps you, but are you saying that women can't show you their representative for quite a while?
Oh, absolutely.
And then just
absolutely.
Trojan horse you? So would that be poor discernment, or would that just be a POS woman getting into your life?
It's
right?
both.
Which one would it be?
It's both. I don't understand why it has to be only one. It can be both. She's a POS.
Women of domestic violence.
Hold on, Kenny. Is that okay? We'll get to you.
She can be a POS of a woman, but at the end of the day, you allowed that woman to be in your life. You pursued her and you stayed while she showed you her hand. And yes, she can use her representative, but eventually her representative fades away. And then you have to learn from
what's
that
eventually?
Experience. However long it takes
eventually?
You to understand that she's a POS, because she wasn't a POS when you were chasing her.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
then
when you realize she's a POS, so when you realize she's a POS, you need to take some time, not run and go chase after another chick. You need to take some time and recognize, where did you fail as a man in having the lack of discernment for chasing after that type of chick? Are you just solely focused on her physical? Did you not vet her for her mental? Did you not vet her for all these other qualities that better align with what you want for your future? So yes, if you decide, hey, I'm just going to check out because I'm having bad results, That's weak shit. That's quitting.
No,
I'm here to hold on for a second, brother.
I think he took in consideration that he did due diligence as far
Yes,
as
he vetted. Yes, he tried his damnedest. But what I'm trying to tell you is that some women are really, really, really good at this, right? Like I talk to a lot of these women.
Yeah,
these dudes would never know because they do all the right things. They say all the right things. They know how to play the part. But there's nothing you can do about it. When they're ready to Trojan horse on you, it's too late. And then let's say that happens again. And listen, we have to agree that the dating market right now, as far as men and women, are way worse than it was, right? People are really out for themselves right now. It's tough. Dating right now is tough, right? So for you to run into a couple of people who did you dirty, listen, discernment helps you, but not all of us have that talent or gift or whatever you want to recognize it as, but not even just that. Even with that skill set, there's still going to be some people who are just not going to show anything but their representative for quite a while. You're going to run into that. And if a dude decides, or a woman decides, you know what, I'm going to prioritize myself, my life, and just go ahead and do this because I'm really not with the games and everybody I run into is playing games. I'm not going to say that they're weak because they decided to check out. I don't encourage people to check out because I believe the nuclear family is what built the country, right? And I stand by it. But damn it, if all you getting is horrible results and you're doing everything right, you're not weak for saying the hell with that.
But that's not.
There's nothing wrong with being weak. You know, a pyramid, like everybody cannot be the CEO. There's people at every single level. So yes, some people are weaker than others, and some people can stomach the heartache. Some people can stomach taking an L after L after L after L until they finally understand where they're making the decision wrong to get that L so they can turn that L to a W. Some people learn from their L's. They take it as a lesson. Some people just take L's and then they just give up. That is what I'm talking about. That is weak.
So is taking L's not a part of being a masculine man?
No, it's absolutely a part of being a masculine man. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. You can't be a masculine man if you don't take L's. You can't just win all the time.
Exactly. So, and that's to that
giving
extent,
up.
I do agree with Manic in that case. If just because you had some bad experiences, you decide, oh, I'll give up on dating, I'm gonna just spend the rest of my life by myself, and that's your reasoning behind it, then in my opinion, yeah, you're a weak man, because what manhood is, you know what I'm saying, is you working through whatever trials and tribulations that you're faced with and standing 10 toes down, you know what I'm saying, and making shit happen.
I love how we just glossed over it and said men had some bad experiences, but let me tell you a little bit about these bad experiences, right? I'm talking about getting divorced, losing your life, right? Everything that you've earned, right? Losing your children, getting them taken away from you, having custody battles, right? Getting heartbroken, going into a relationship in good faith and getting your heart ripped out. These are not just bad experiences. This is like real life. This is what happens to people, right?
So you're going to give up?
So it's not just
telling men to give up.
I'm not telling men to give up, but I wouldn't call them weak because of it.
All right. Hold tight, y'all. Let me get Kenny in there, and then let's go ahead and shut the mic. I know Kenny has something to say. Go ahead, Kenny. And then we'll go to Marcus and Shannon.
If you flip that coin, and this may be touchy, now put a woman in that position. I no longer want to deal with men, DV, things of that nature, horrible interactions. Now I go to the other side. So they're weak for doing that as well?
Yeah.
Are you asking me a question specifically? Or
yes.
Okay.
Are
What
they
was the
weak
question
for
you
doing
said?
that as well?
Men who go through divorce and they lose
No,
their
let me repeat it.
Yeah.
Flip the coin. Now, put a woman in that. You say a woman, DV, whatever, she's been through horrible experiences with men, care to dabble on the other side. Is she also weak for giving up on us?
Absolutely. If that's what she wants. If she wants men and she's giving up, that's weak.
All right, go ahead, Marcus.
It's weak as hell.
Y'all funny. Does love make you more masculine? Okay, so I think it's kind of a trick question because I think love and hate can make you more masculine. They can also make you less masculine. right? Because, for example, I was talking about when I ran into a building that was crashing down to try and save somebody's life, and instead of me feeling like I'm ready to throw my life away and just try and save these people, the entire time I was worried about something hitting me and me dying, and that was going to take me away from my kids. I really felt like I was cheating on my family in that moment. So in the ability, the love made me weaker in a sense, because I still ran in there, but the fact that I had to think about it, the fact that it was like pushing me to, is this the right thing to do? And I know it was the right thing to do, but the not being there for my family would have me second guess something that would typically be defined as being hypermasculine, or being at any moment ready to be in a shootout or whatever. When you think about the people you love, it can remove you from being in that space. So it makes you weaker in the sense of some of the things that's contributed to being masculine, such as courage, daring, some of those things. But full circle, it makes you stronger because it makes you a more rounded man. Because of the when you able to love, then you can experience other aspects of masculinity that may not have been nurtured the same way, so they can grow too. So it's kind of double edged. I see what both of y'all saying, and I think hate work the same way, because it can motivate you to be more courageous. Because to be a suicide deleter, that's some courageous stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you hate something and love something so much you're willing to go do that. So I honestly see both y'all points.
And that's why I said I think that hate and love is essentially the same thing. The only way that you can hate something is if you love it to an extent. Yeah, I have to love this enough to hate it. You know, that's my perspective of it. That's the only way that somebody can carry out hatred in that manner.
I could love Viz, I could love my people enough to hate the opposite group, and I definitely ain't got no love for the opposite group of people.
But
I just want to get some context on what was stated with Trev. I didn't understand. I don't think I clearly understood what he was saying. I didn't know you were saying that you were going, the scenario you gave was that the man was going to be done with relationships altogether and never pursue another relationship based on the failed relationship. I thought you were just talking about, okay, the current relationship I'm in, shit didn't work out, I'm out. I didn't know you were talking about, okay, I'm never going to pursue a relationship again. Okay, I can agree to that makes you weak. But as far as if you're in a relationship and you're making a sound judgment based on your own or your own interests or the interests of both of y'all, sometimes people break up because both parties are suffering. I don't call that weak, because then you can still
call that weak either.
You could still go and find a meaningful connection or a meaningful relationship in the future. It's nothing wrong with making the sound judgment to get yourself out of a situation. And it ain't got to be necessarily relationships. It could be work. It can be confrontation with somebody. I mean, it's just you being able to have enough emotional intelligence to know being self-aware and know what's best for you.
Yeah.
Manic, you said that you don't call that weak, but that's a contradiction to what you said earlier. You even said that the woman that gives up on her man, she's weak.
No. I said no. The context of the question that was phrased to me, or as I understood it, was a woman who gives up on mankind because she's had such bad relationships and goes to a different.
Okay, that's how you took it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
No, somebody who gets out of a relationship. Yeah. No, that would be a contradiction. Somebody who gets out of a relationship because it no longer fits them, that's not weak. That's just called understanding. That's growth. That's, having good discernment, realizing that, hey, this no longer suits me. It's not in my best interest. So that's
never
not
what Trev was saying initially, because I think we kind of twisted his context.
I got a question for y'all. Can love make you less masculine?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. If you don't have the emotional intelligence and you use it the wrong way and you pedestalize something and you love it so much that you are blinded in making a good decision, absolutely it'll make you weak. It can make you unmasculine because you won't be moving in your masculine energy.
Okay.
Let me go to look at that. Let me go to Brother Hank. Hank, how do you perceive the relationship between love and masculinity? And do you think one influences the other?
Yeah, y'all confusing to me, man. So if I share my love for my son, does that make me less masculine? If I share love for my brother, does that make me less masculine? I mean, because that's what y'all making it sound like. A motherfucker tell you love you, man, you soft for the motherfucker. Well, look here, if that's how you feel, y'all can go fuck yourselves, kiss my ass. I came up from an era where it's unfortunate our fathers probably didn't tell us they loved us because it was uncommon. It wasn't considered what y'all consider masculine. His grandfather didn't do that. It just wasn't the thing that you didn't hear your father tell you he loved you. Now, some of you motherfuckers probably needed to hear your father tell you he loved you. Maybe you wouldn't be acting the way y'all acted. But I make sure I tell my son I love him because I never heard it from my father. The reason I do it because I want my son to know he's loved. Now we'll tell our daughters in a minute we love them. That's not a problem. Nobody's gonna look at you crazy. I'll look at you differently. But if you tell your son, I love you. And man, you getting all soft and mushy. What are you doing that for? Man, there's nothing wrong with that. Your son should know his father loves you. He should know he cares about you. I don't think you less masculine because you say you love you. Jay, I love you, brother. And I appreciate what you do with you and your network. Right on. So if y'all think I'm a soft motherfucker, y'all can come over and try me if you want to. Y'all can come over and try me. See, I'll show you how soft I am. I'm gonna leave it there.
Pause. Super pause.
The question with vulnerability and love. Because you love your son and you're vulnerable to him, that does not define your masculinity. And that is not a shot saying that how you just phrased it or interpreted it, that it was a shot.
No, but did you hear what Manic said? Did you hear what Manic said? If you love too much, it could make you soft. That's what he said.
No, I said if you love the wrong thing, if you pedestalize the wrong thing, it can make you soft because you're not going to have good discernment.
I heard you wrong. My bad, brother.
Hank, when he said that, I was thinking about somebody allowing a woman to run all over them, not setting no boundaries, doing whatever she say because you in love with her. And in that case, the love made you less masculine.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Marcus, it may not be love. Like when you was in high school, you more likely didn't. You had no idea what love is, but you were infatuated by the girl, but not necessarily in love with her. Yes, sir.
Your love and vulnerability has nothing to do with your masculinity.
I agree with that.
Your masculinity is you putting on your boots, you going out there, keeping a roof over your head, food on the table, doing what you do, your duty. Strong, aggressive leadership. A subsect of something else is your vulnerability for your son. That has nothing to do to define your masculinity as a man. How he chooses to phrase it and how we're playing telephone now. By the time it got to you, it was understood that involving that within your masculinity is not what it is. And then you came with your response. Who said you're a father? Of course you can be vulnerable. You have a son, but that does not define you as a masculine, your masculinity as a man. I would say, Hank, out of most blue collar, boot wearing, masculine individual that I know from off of these panels that stand on his square. Other ones, no. That's all I'm saying. Your love and your vulnerability for your son does not define your masculinity.
I don't think anybody was trying to define it. In fact, I would say the most masculine.
I agree with that, Kenny, but I was the reason I came upset us because I heard my man Manic. Now, like I said, I misunderstood what he was saying, and it was my bad. But when I heard it, I was like, God damn. And then hearing what everybody else
to clarify. I appreciate it, Hank.
Yeah, that's it. Manic, you love me, brother? Do you love me?
I don't know.
Man, Hank, I got
I
love.
love you.
I got love for
Don't
you,
throw that
brother.
word
I
around
got
lightly.
love for all the brothers.
I rock with you though.
That's what I'm
Genuine
talking
love.
about.
I rock with you, Hank.
Right on, my brother. I appreciate that.
But Hank brought up a great point. We gotta always, it's like with your kids, they should not go the rest of their life without you hearing you express affection for them, knowing that you love them, the people in your family that matter to you. Because when they dead, you can't redeem yourself and put that back in them. And when you dead, they don't need to question that or wonder about any of that. So that, I know it's a tangent, but he brought in. I tell my kids I love them every day, in the morning and the night.
Well, let me ask you this, Marcus. Is it safe to say that you can judge by the things a man loves, the things that a man cherishes, can determine whether that man is masculine or feminine?
Give me an example.
Do you know what Diddy love?
What the fuck?
Here we go.
You do. For an example, you can determine based on what a man loves, you can determine whether he's feminine or not. I see it all the time.
Look, I'm about to go off
I'm
the
in
rails.
Atlanta, bro. I see a lot of feminine. I see a lot of femininity in some of these jokers walking around here based on the things they love.
Dude, look, so I looked up the definition of like how so I could discuss it in full context. And one of the things they said was a removal of masculinity was homosexuality. That people is commonly associated with a removal of masculinity. So it's like effemination. But throwing this monkey wrench in a Diddy thing, and I don't believe this, but I heard this before. So let me again, I don't believe this, but I heard this before. That his reason for wanting to do that with men had nothing to do with attraction to men. It was his desire to dominate men, which would be a masculine trait.
Yeah.
And I don't believe this, but y'all probably heard that too about him. I'm just saying, like.
Well, so Marcus, are you saying depending on what role you're playing,
hold on,
you could be masculine or feminine? Is that what you're saying? So if you a Packer, versus a Packy, are you saying that that's masculine? No, that's what we're doing.
No, I'm saying specifically in regards to Diddy. I heard the reason that he felt that way was because he wanted to dominate men, which domination tends to be a masculine trait. That's the monkey wrench. I mean,
so I'll say this from a psychological perspective. We got to keep in mind Diddy has been in that position, in a position of power, essentially since the 90s, right? And just over the course of time, once you get to a certain point, then you're, especially if you're power hungry, you're going to keep pushing that boundary further and further along, right? So I'm quite sure that that in his case, once he did become, a fun boy or whatever the case may be, I think that his reasoning behind that validated it to him was exactly what Marcus said, was him looking for that extension of power, because he already did everything else. I can go out and buy whatever female that I want to. So, hey, Kenny, what's up, man? Let's go kick it. I'm gonna go take you shopping. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
Hey, Viz, to take it one step further, now that I'm fleshing this idea out again, I don't agree with this stuff. But when you do that in jail, taking your what?
Say that last part again.
They call it taking your what?
Your
manhood, right?
My masculinity. Yeah. That's literally what people say. You man trying to take your manhood.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get Shannon there. Go ahead, Shannon.
All right, trivia. Oh man, y'all talked a lot. Brothers be going at each other. Sometimes I think y'all be just waiting to just go at each other. Y'all don't give a fuck what somebody else say. You gonna just be ready to scrap. Y'all having like love and hate argument, like love and hate. I hear what you're saying, Viz. But love and hate are really on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Love is like having a great affection and
it's an emotional warmth and love, and happiness is derived from that. Whereas hate, on the other hand, it's an intense dislike or feeling of apathy, you know, towards someone or something. And I know that you were saying that, you know, love can drive somebody to do something. That's what you was referencing the movie 300 with King Leonidas, you know, and the Spartans. And their love for Sparta was so strong that they went and died for them. Knew they wasn't coming home because they hated the Greeks so much. But that you know that's like, see, some people say love is a verb, you know, others say love is an emotion. I think it's both. And oftentimes we can conflate one for the other. So while love may drive you to do something, which is the action, we can also discuss the emotion side of it, because that you can invoke racism. You know, there's people that hate other people, and not because they necessarily love something else more. They just hate something else. They just hate a thing. You know, some men hate BBLs. Some men hate weaves. Not because they just in love with a woman's natural afro. They just hate the fact that she's rocking weaves. And so we don't want to conflate that too often. And another thing is, you guys was mentioning giving up on something makes a person weak. I know we kind of like cleaned it up later on, adding context and whatnot, but it did come off that you guys were saying that giving up on a person is weak. Because what you're saying is, shit, never cut ties on anything that doesn't serve you.
Well, no,
You know?
we were saying
never
giving
said
up
giving
on
up on
people.
somebody.
We
said giving.
Listen to me. Listen, don't
Giving up on dating.
Let me finish.
Right.
I said you guys tried to clean it up, but I listen. I don't talk. Have you noticed I'm the guy in the upper left-hand corner that don't speak? I just listen to all y'all talk. I'm an excellent listener. Excellent. A+.
Clearly, you missed that one though.
No, I don't miss anything, brothers. Just trust me. Just play and everybody here will tell you, Shan don't
we
miss.
run the tape.
Everybody will tell you, Shan don't miss. All right. So what was said was, you know what, giving up on dating completely and giving up on men completely and women completely. I heard all of that. I also heard how it was conveyed initially. And having the ability to not let something go that's not serving you, in fact, can be very masculine. You know, and I know that some of you guys said that it could be later on. Self-awareness is very masculine and whatnot. But we know that some motherfuckers have a lifelong rap career. Think about the brother that think that he gonna rap forever, and he's working on his bars, and he's now 45 years old working on his bars. He's been rapping since he was 20. You know, you gotta let that go. But you're not masculine if you give up on your rap career. No, that's not necessarily true. And also, Manic the Genius, everybody on the battlefield wants to go home. Believe me when I tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because you said it. If you on the battlefield and you want to go home, you shouldn't be there.
Well, if your whole intent is to go home,
the whole intent for every soldier there wants to go home. When I was getting shot at by insurgents, huh?
I think he talking about desertion. Come on, you know he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
I was talking about. I was talking out of context.
Does he want me to be next to him on the battlefield as his battle buddy when we getting ready to breach a cordon and search? That was Kenny's. I didn't answer him. I didn't come off the mic. I didn't come off mute. I just made a gesture. Said no, I don't want that. And then I think Kenny said, you know, he wants to go home. And I just wanted everybody to be clear. Nobody wants war. Even the most gung ho who soldiers that's out there don't want war. I was a super soldier. Was ready to go, ready to fight. You guys have seen the movie Black Hawk Down. That was me, 1994. So we all wanted to go home. So I just wanted to be clear about that. You know, I get on edge when people speak on soldiers, especially combat soldiers.
Let me ask you this: would it even add even more context to say that all of the soldiers would prefer to go home at the end of the mission?
Mm-hmm.
But if we got to get the mission done, we gonna get the mission done, even if it takes our life.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And nobody's left behind. But we all want to go home. We don't want to be there. Believe me when I tell you, we don't want to be. We'd rather be home with our wives, our girls, our kids.
Mhm.
But the masculinity discussion, man, oh my God, this thing has been beaten down by so many different people, and everybody's defining masculinity. And, and the question here is, does love make you more masculine? I would say masculinity gives you the strength and the courage to love more, but masculinity and love are completely different. I'm with Kenny on that. They have nothing to do with each other. The lack of love does not necessarily make you weak or less masculine. Understand something. Masculinity is simply is attitudes and behaviors of men. That's all it is. It just signifies and validates your maleness. That's all it is. It's regarded as a characteristic of men. That's what masculinity is, or the lack thereof. And be honest with you, some men are guarded. There's men out there who are guarding their heart, they're guarding their money, they're guarding their time, they're guarding their energy, and they don't necessarily want to fall in love or be in love or get involved in that. And is that less masculine because he's protecting himself, falling into a state of being that might get him caught up?
Could it be described as fear? Could that be described as fear?
Yeah, it could be.
Is being fearful less masculine?
No, hell no. Are you kidding me?
So is courage masculine?
Well, no, not necessarily. Listen, because what I think what I'm trying to say, because and I don't want to get into the movie After Earth with Will Smith and his son, where fear is not real. We always talk about fear is not real. It's it's what's the acronym they say it is? The false evidence appearing real. I'm fearful. You think that we were just speaking about the battlefield? You think I wasn't afraid of dying right then and there?
No. I think the issue would be. No, I think the issue would be if your fear overrides your courage. I think fear is going to exist, but once you become fearful, I believe that it's overridden your courage in the way I'm defining it.
Yeah. And that just means that I'm just a less courageous individual, but it has nothing to do with masculinity. Masculinity is a characteristic of maleness. And so I think what a lot of people wants to do is add on these extra attributes onto the word masculine and then say, look at you, you ain't, especially people that use it to weaponize or talk shit about somebody. You get women that say that you ain't no man. See, a real man, how many times have you guys got into a discussion with a woman and she tells you what a real man will do?
Yeah, no,
I always know what a real man is. And so when we say, well, you know what, you didn't do that, so you ain't masculine. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with masculinity. And,
right.
And so and that's where I think Kenny was trying to explain. And I'll let you go in a second, Mark. Kink is like saying, fuck all y'all. If you think I'm not masculine, test me. And I'm gonna still tell my son I love him. And that's what Marcus, and I think Marcus was, Kenny was talking to Hink, but I think Hink was really supporting you. He was basically saying the same thing that you were saying. And I think, Kenny, you were trying to explain that to Hink. Listen, these are completely independent of each other. One does not have anything to do with the other one. You don't think I'm masculine? Let me show you how much of a man I am. You come over here and fuck with my shit. That's what Hink is saying. But then I'm going to still love my son. Now, I'm simply saying for the guy that may not necessarily want to open his heart to a relationship with a woman, a guy that may have been burned in the past, a guy that may have lost, I think, as Trev was saying, lost all his shit that he's worked for 20 years and had to give it up because some court came and took it from him and gave it to somebody who didn't put in 1 ounce of fucking work, and he doesn't want to get involved in that kind of thing again. Does that make him less masculine? Absolutely not. That makes him more protective. In fact, some can argue that's more masculine, that he won't do that because he's being more guarded and protective of his shit. So I just don't want people to mix up. That's all I'm saying. I don't want people to mix up masculinity and your maleness and the things that comprise you and makes you a man with being fearful,
with being less courageous and don't want to go to war, or maybe scared to jump and go head first, or lead the way up the mountain, or get into a relationship or fall in love and be vulnerable because you're less vulnerable, you're less masculine. Bullshit. No. And I just want to make sure that we understand, we separate those two things. Masculinity and femininity has nothing to do with behavioral issues or things that makes you move or what you believe in. Or, some people say, well, if you're a liberal and you believe in this, you soft and you not mad. That's bullshit. That ain't got nothing to do with it. So that's all I really have to say. I just want us to make sure that we separate the two and know that masculinity, and just think about it, guys, masculinity and what makes you guys a man, you other 9 brothers on this panel, a man, has nothing to do with if you're opening your heart to be in love with a woman or not. You can be either one. You could be the guy that's been divorced 3 times and is looking for a 4th wife because you believe in the institution of marriage and you love family and you want to die with a wife. Or you can be the guy who got divorced once, burned, and never wants to get married again or fall in love again. Both of those men can be extremely masculine. It's just their preference, that how they want to move in their day-to-day behaviors. That's all I got.
I agree with you on that one.
All right. If you guys just tuning in, welcome to King Talks. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. About ready to go ahead and get to the main topic. Let's get into the main topic, fellas. We have a lot of intelligent women, but very few wise women. I'm going to play this clip.
Of intelligent women, but very few wise women. A wise woman can get a man to do whatever she wants him to do, but make him think he thought of it.
That part.
One example. I remember seeing this pastor that had come to church one time. He preached a message and he told the ladies, he said, ladies, let me show you how to just use your head. Say you're sitting in the room and your man getting ready to get up and he grabs the door handle, get ready to open the door, and you stop and you say, hey, stop, hold it. Don't move. And he's startled. He's saying, what is it? She said, it's just something about how you grabbed that doorknob. It just did something to me. And he gonna say, oh, you want to see me do it with the other hand guy? That's all y'all got to do with us. Okay, we'll give you all our money. We do everything. If you can just, because see, you can't buy men things. But what you can do is edify him. Tell him that he did something good, because especially with men nowadays coming from some of the households they come from, you might be the first person that's ever made him feel like he is something.
All right. Anybody need me to play it again? Y'all got it? Y'all good? I'm going to go ahead and start with Luis first. We have a lot of intelligent women, but very few wise women.
But the brother in the video did a really good job of breaking that down, about just kind of planting the seeds of, kind of getting the guy to do what she essentially wants, but she's kind of making it seem like it was all his idea. Essentially just allow him to lead, allow him to be in his masculine presence, allow him to be, the man, allow him to kind of curate the experience and do the things that he feels comfortable doing. And also kind of she compliments him and kind of mirrors his reaction at the same time. So yeah, I think it was like all about kind of planting the seed into the man, and kind of how she allowed him to kind of just lead the process. Towards the end, he made a comment about, about how a lot of women kind of give men compliment, especially a lot of the men that are being raised today. So pretty much like talking about the men in the single parent households, a lot of men that have absentee fathers, right? And sort of a lot of women doing more, doing a little bit more to kind of encourage their men, because it seems that a lot of young men potentially could be hearing that, they ain't shit, hearing that sense of encouragement not really being there, and sort of that will just fuel them to kind of do more and more of those things that he's already in his, operating and moving in his masculine present. That's all I got.
All right, we go to Darwin.
Yeah, I most definitely like how he broke that down, sort of like what Louis said. Really, really was clear on what he was saying, and the scenario was really, really clear. I don't know about the statement about we'll give you all our money. That's more like a simp. I wouldn't a woman can't do that to me and have me pour out all my riches or resources or whatever. But the thing about we have a lot of intelligent women, but very few wise women. I want to say that might be I want to say he might be showing a difference between women pursuing education and prioritizing that to be worthy, or to be suitable for a relationship, by being independent and being intelligent, versus a woman being wise and just knowing what a man wants and what a man needs in order to thrive in a relationship. It sounds like he's explaining the difference between the two, which it would further justify when we make statements on women seeking relationships and seeking to position themselves to be wives versus to be the most educated and accrue the most student loan debt. So, I mean, that's all I can say on that until we get into further into this discussion among the rest of the panel.
All right, I'm gonna go to you, Shan. In your opinion, how does society value intelligence compared to wisdom in women, and how does this impact personal and professional development?
Society gives all deference to women's intelligence, which is problematic. I mean, that speaks directly to what Darwin just said. So you got my pastor taught me this 30 years ago: knowledge and wisdom. And what happens is young people have a lot of knowledge. Like, think about it now, man. Half of you guys got grandparents, parents that could barely check email. They got iPhones that they don't know how to use. They don't need a fucking new iPhone 15. They could use an iPhone. An iPhone 15 and an iPhone 4 would be the same thing to them, because they just want to take, and they don't know how to get to the pictures. They don't know how to take them. They don't know how to do anything. That's the knowledge that a lot of people have. But the wisdom protects knowledge. And so the issue I have with this particular statement is we're talking about women. I'd like to just replace women with people, because this applies to men as well. There's a lot of smart whippersnappers out there, as they say, right? It's a lot of intelligent, smart, knowledgeable young people that don't have the time in service. I think I talked about this a while back when we talk about people in service positions like police or fire department. You have what is called your rank, but then you have what is called time in service. And time in service is more important than anything. You cannot become a general in the United States Army unless you are 20 years in, period. It doesn't matter how much school you do. It doesn't matter how many battles you fought. You can get advanced as fast as you possibly can. You still won't be a general, not before 20. It's very rare that ever happens, because experience matters. And that's where wisdom is. And so all these smart women that we got out here, and what the brother in the video was saying is, you got all these women out here that just know what the fuck they talking about. They know this, they know that. And that's what gets on a lot of guys' nerves, because the women coming at them like they know every goddamn thing, right? But men with wisdom, or even women with wisdom, just be sitting there listening and saying, okay, keep talking. Because I know you think you know, and you read up and you Googled everything and you ran to Wikipedia and learned all the shit you need to know, but you don't know anything about how it's going to actually go down unless your ass has been there and you've done it for a little while. And that's where wisdom comes in. And so what I think the brother was saying was, if women had some wisdom in their dating and mating spaces, they would know how to work their man properly to get the best results out of him for her benefit. But because women know so fucking much, and they think they know everything, and they didn't read every book, and they didn't watch all the movies, and they think they know so much. They apply that to men, and they're failing and losing far too often. The wise women know what to do, and if young women would employ a little bit of wisdom in their dating, they'd go a lot further with the men that they really want to be with. But you think you know too goddamn much. Now I'm just talking about women because that's what's going across the bottom of the screen, but this applies to men and women as well. There's a lot of men out there that just be, man, I know what I got game. I watched Lucario. I got all the game I need. Okay, really? Oh yeah, but you only been on 5 dates in your whole life, and you got it all under control. Okay, no problem. This is an argument that a lot of people have with married men who's been married for 15 years to one woman, and then coming on the internet acting like, he done had a gang of hoes. It's like, no, you've been out the game for 15 years. You don't even understand dating today. That requires wisdom. That requires you to actually do it, experience it, understand it, and understand and know how it moves. And that's why race car drivers that's been racing for a long time, filmmakers that know how to film, barbers, I wish Sweeney was here, that's been cutting hair for years, can take a simple pair of clippers or a regular car or a regular camera and shoot a fucking world-class movie with an iPhone versus somebody with all this equipment and all this knowledge and a red camera and all this production and make a shitty movie. It requires wisdom to make the best movie, not necessarily knowledge. And it takes wisdom to get the man you want and get the results you want, not necessarily knowledge. And so if you don't have the wisdom and the time and service, you might want to listen to those that do, because they'll give you the better advice.
A lot of intelligent women, but very few wise women. A wise woman can get a man to do whatever she wants him to do, but make him think he thought of it.
That part.
One example. I remember seeing this pastor that had come to church one time. He preached a message and he told the ladies, he said, ladies, let me show you how to just use your head. Say you're sitting in the room and your man getting ready to get up and he grabs the door handle, get ready to open the door, and you stop and you say, hey, stop, hold it. Don't move. And he's startled. He's saying, what is it? She said, it's just something about how you grab that doorknob. It just did something to me. And he gonna say, oh, you want to see me do it with the other hand? That's all y'all got to do with us. Okay, we'll give you all our money. We do everything. If you can just, because see, you can't buy men things. Mm-hmm. But what you can do is edify him. Mm-hmm. Tell him that he did something good, because especially with men nowadays coming from some of the households they come from, you might be the first person that's ever made him feel like he is something.
Mm.
All right. I'm going to go to you, Trev. Have you ever observed any societal biases or stereotypes that hinder women from being perceived as wise, even if they possess significant intelligence?
Wait, run that question again.
Have you observed any societal biases or stereotypes that hinder women from being perceived as wise, even if they possess significant intelligence?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Shannon nailed a lot of that just now. Oh yeah, and sometimes it's a lot of what the women lead with, right? So they'll lead with their intelligence, or they'll lead with their degree, or they'll lead with their job titles, right? And a lot of that is, it's praised by society as a whole, and and it's commercialized. But men, we view that as masculinity, right? We're not attracted to that type of stuff. The stuff that you really lead with and put to the forefront is things that you would be attracted to, but not men per se. And I think that's one of the main issues that we have with that. A lot of what Homeboy was describing in the video is synonymous with game, right? And unfortunately, a lot of women who gain wisdom have to gain experience to be like that, right? So it's one of those things, right? A lot of people, like Shannon said earlier, it's in general, when we get that wisdom, it's like more of a defense mechanism. We don't use wisdom the way we should, right? When we learn things, a lot of times we don't improve. We just become more defensive, more guarded, and it doesn't work in our favor because it's going to repel people versus us getting wisdom and saying, okay, I learned this, man. Where did I go wrong? What does this man like? Right? Those are the things you get that experience. You'll learn how to please a man every way possible, right? If you take that type of wisdom and apply it, then you can get so much better results. But we don't usually do that. The wisdom that we get, we go ahead and just become fearful, doubtful, jaded, and everything else. That's our main issue. We don't know how to get out of here and take our experience and use it for the good. That's
You
the
saying
main
you trying to
issue
be
there.
nice, Trev, saying we and our. You mean women. You say it like it is.
Listen, it is. We do it a lot too. Yeah, and you said it just now too, right? You replaced the women with people, so don't do that. But no, yeah, women for sure are absolutely doing it, and it was I think it was CCH in the comments. She said it's just the feminine, divine femininity, right? And it'll stimulate masculinity. That was her comment in there, and I wholeheartedly agree with that, right? That femininity, that soft touch will absolutely stimulate our masculinity. The gentleman was correct when he said that it will make, I wouldn't say give us all your money. You're right, Darwin. And we ain't going to give all our money up, but it will inspire us to provide for you, right? It will inspire us to take care of you and to pour into you also. That's the whole thing. Stimulating that masculinity, there's so many ways to do that. Are you going to use your powers for good or evil, right? That's what we need to be worried about. Are you going to go ahead and take what you've learned from the man and apply it to the next man? All of those good things, you know what men like. You know men want you to be soft. You know when to be quiet. You know when to talk. You know when to say, are you okay? You know when to rub my back, right? You know when to do those things that are feminine. And what women should understand is the more feminine you are, the more masculine I can become in a good way. Like when we're talking about masculinity, that men are providers, men are protectors. That is stimulating your masculinity.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, Kenny P.
When I hear this, intelligent woman not wise, I think Ebony K. Williams. I think Kendra G. I think I'm mediocre because I'm a bus driver. I should own a bus company. I have a distinguished degree, but my outcomes and my 2 failed attempts at marriage are the only thing I have to show for all the banter that I bring across in media space and such. I have all my accomplishments, but I have my wine and all my pillows and my rose in the drawer. I would say, and I'm being careful with this, it's not the majority. There's a subsection of women that buy into this and they empower other women with this thing of intelligence rather than getting back to what is natural, what you want. What are the outcomes you want? You can't sit down with certain women and be like, I don't have all of that. You can't tell me what I wish to accomplish because I did 28 years in communications that I need to strive for more. Maybe I don't want to. You didn't do the work I did, but here's what I can give you. I can make sure that, I can be faithful to you. I can love you. Men have been dating down from the beginning of time. What you want and you seek is wisdom. When you put all the extras into the game, you have all that book sense and be lonely with your dogs and cats. That's pretty much what I see when I hear this statement. A lot of women get in their own way. Plain and simple. Good men are in abundance. Get out your own way. Be happy. Make the wise choice. I digress.
All right, go ahead, Viz.
I mean, everybody pretty much hit right on the head with it, and then I agree for the most part. What I will say is simply intelligence is knowing how to speak, and wisdom is knowing when to speak.
Okay. The manic genius. How can women leverage their intelligence to cultivate and express wisdom in their personal and professional spheres? And what benefits does the integration offer to society as a whole?
I think first, I do want to acknowledge that everything that the men have already said on this topic, I wholeheartedly agree with. Um, I think before we can answer that question, just so we're all on the same page, we got to simply just define intelligence and wisdom. And Shannon already said it, so I'll just reiterate. It's the ability to acquire and apply knowledge. That's intelligence. Wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment, the quality of being wise. And that's not my definition. That's literally Google. So now that we understand the difference between intelligence and wisdom, I would say intelligence is on a micro level and wisdom is on a macro level. And wisdom supersedes intelligence. With that understanding, it's anonymous. Somebody can be intelligent but not wise. We understand that. We see that. Every example that the men have already laid out, speak to that. Women with their degrees, their education, their knowledge, but they're not wise enough to understand how to leverage that. Now, so my solution to how to leverage that intelligence, intellect, or whatever you want to call it, and turn it into wisdom, it would be to seek information and listen to people who are more wise than you. I mean, that's really the only way. And this is a concept that I wholeheartedly believe in. We as men, we don't dictate what women want. And just as women do not dictate what men want. We know what we want. So if women want us and want to be wise, they need to just listen to what we have to say. And it's as simple as that.
What you think, Kenny?
That ain't simple.
I mean, I put it this way. If they know exactly the dude that they want, they can listen to that. The difficulty lies in the mixed, because all of us on here, we all have our own opinions. We're all strong in our sense, especially when we have success and, results. It's kind of hard for me to listen to somebody who's, not as successful as me. It's not to say that they don't have a valid opinion or a valid perspective, but I'm going to look at the situation like my perspective's, more superior because I have the actual results and the outcomes. So I think that's where the difficulty comes into play, because if I'm saying one thing and another masculine man is saying another thing, women don't know which way to go. But I think that, just as you said, Kenny, women need to look at the things that actually matter to them, like loyalty. I've talked to plenty of women who literally believe that men cannot be loyal. Men will always cheat. They've normalized it, because of their past experiences, because of what other men have told them. But that's not the reality. It's the men that they're surrounding themselves with and the circumstances. There's plenty of men who will not step out on their woman, when they have a good woman. And then there's plenty of men who will step out just because. So it's like having the discernment does make it difficult. So I would agree with you on that, Kenny.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Hank.
Man, it's funny. I said he may not look. The man may not give all the money up, but he's sure gonna spend all his goddamn money to keep that woman happy. If she's one of them women's like what my man was talking about in the video. Look, that man was saying a whole lot. It was spot on. Women just don't realize what they have. They do it. Some do it on a regular basis, but they just don't realize it, how powerful it is when they are doing it. Look, the difference between intelligent women and wise women. Intelligent women are one who are smart, educated, and whatever the case may be. A wise woman knows when to establish and to use that wisdom and an intelligence. You know, sometimes, man, you call what they call a situations where you see women moving and acting out, you know, like my man Kenny said, MK Whip, she's very smart woman, but she's not a wise woman. Her, you know, her lack of experience, it shows in some of the things she says. You know, a wise woman wouldn't really downplay a man who's a bus driver, maybe who's striving to become a owner of the bus company, but she was quick to show how smart she is. Why I wouldn't accept a woman like a wise woman would say, "Baby girl, why would you say something like that? That man could be your future husband someday, but you're gonna make a statement like that could just eliminate that man altogether." And you probably think about a lot of blue collar workers, and you eliminate half the world, half the opportunities. So,
All right. Hey, Marcus, did you go? Went? Okay, go ahead. Your mic on mute.
Yeah, I agree with almost everything y'all said tonight. So I think all y'all hit the points on the head. What I kind of was focused on was wise and intelligent. When he was describing wise, to me, it sounded like somebody that can manipulate well. To get somebody to do what you want is manipulation, right? And the definition is to skillfully navigate to get a desired result, sometimes unscrupulously, or oftentimes unscrupulously. If she take all your money, that's unscrupulous. So I would say that's a negative version of manipulation. A positive version would be if she did that to help the whole family and not just her benefit. But yeah, that's all I had. It seemed like it boils right back to manipulation, and its context and how it's used.
I will always say this, but all things are manipulation. Be it if it's your wife, be it if a girlfriend, be it if you actually y'all genuinely locked in, or he or she is just finessing. It's all manipulation.
Do y'all think that the women of today manipulate worse than the women of yesteryear, or they priorities for what they manipulating for is different?
I think the priorities is different.
First of all,
I think they all want the same shit. Go ahead.
I think manipulation is a negative thing, man. I think the intentions is negative. Right. I think indoctrination might be the proper term to use.
You don't like the word? What's wrong with the
read the definition? I mean, I read the definition because I think we had a conversation about manipulation not too long ago, and I stumbled across it, and it was just getting somebody to think or do something. Your intent is malicious.
No, it can be. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
I mean, the definition is pretty contrast between whether it can. There is no maybe intention. I think the definition.
There's no positive manipulation, is what you're saying?
No, it's
the definition.
Positive side to it. It's called indoctrination.
So, Darwin, let me ask you something.
Hold on, because we had a conversation about a man that was sitting on a panel, and he asked his girlfriend to unfollow the host of the panel because of the content or the message that they were sending was influencing her in a specific way. And a lot of people said that he was manipulating her, and I was saying that he wasn't, because she still had her choice. And it wasn't necessarily a negative thing. It's just that he may be wanting to groom her into to be able to be more suitable for being in a relationship with him, and it might not align with what they were saying on the panel. So that's why I said I think it's indoctrination. If she's getting indoctrined, that's a positive thing. You can be indoctrined. But manipulation is trying to get somebody to do something you don't want them to do.
So indoctrination,
they don't necessarily, and it's not in their best interest. That's I'm saying the definition could be different. I might have to go back and read it. I might just type it up.
Indoctrination is more like a belief system.
So the action of manipulating someone in a skillful manner, the action of manipulating someone in a clever manner. The other one lists that oftentimes. Let me read from. All right. Controlling someone or something to your own advantage, often unfairly or dishonest. So it's about 6 different definitions on here. Then there was a definition that correlates to it called contravance, and that's the positive form of doing that to manipulate to a different form. You can look those two words of contravance and then probably check like 3 or 4 definitions of manipulation. So when I be using it, I'm speaking of the one that says the art of skillfully navigating.
Yeah, I think
agree
just
that
the
it's
word.
indoctrination as well, Bruiser, but indoctrination requires manipulation.
Hey, hold tight, Viz. I think Kenny had a question, and I'll go to you. Go ahead, Kenny.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Darwin, you never succumbed to something that your wife wanted you to do that you didn't want to do?
You said succumb. Can you use a better word? Because I don't use that word enough to be able to recall it. I mean, I get what you're trying to say, but just use another word. Because I don't know if it's JR who started this shit with all these words, but y'all exposing.
Listen, reading is fundamental. I'm trying to help you out. I come to teach.
I'm a C student, man.
All right, so there was something that you may have not wanted to do, but your wife wanted to do it. Just say maybe it's a show or something she wanted. She didn't know you didn't want to do it, but she added a quid pro quo. She did something for you, you did that. But that was a form of manipulation because you didn't want to do it, but she sweetened something, so you were like, all right, I'll do it. You weren't manipulated.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it wasn't manipulation because it wasn't unfair, or what was the other negative term in that, Mr. White?
It said oftentimes.
Often unfair. What was the other term?
Oftentimes, I can't think of this right. Oftentimes, unscrupulous, but it doesn't have to be. So it can be either one.
I didn't even hear it. Like you say the terms that it stated that were negative in there.
Clever or unscrupulous. Oftentimes, clever or unscrupulous.
So let's stick with the word clever.
That's not what I heard, but okay.
Okay, he just went to the definition. Your wife, she knows you better than most. She was clever enough to put a certain thing in play, something you did not want to do, but she was clever enough to put something on the table that will make you say, all right, I'll do it, even though you didn't want to do it. But she went about it in a clever way. Were you ever in a position like that?
No, I never was in a position like that. And she put some, you saying she put some on the table. We're talking about manipulation, right? We're talking about manipulation.
Just don't like the wording.
But listen, this is my understanding. I got a different I don't know what kind of computer. I don't know if y'all on a damn HP, but I'm on the MacBook. The MacBook says manipulation refers to the act of skillfully influencing or controlling someone or something to achieve a desired outcome, often without their full awareness or consent. It could take various forms, ranging from subtle persuasion to more overt coercion. In interpersonal relationships, manipulation can be detrimental when it involves exploiting or deceiving others for personal gain or fulfillment. So it's a selfish thing. It's for the best interest of the person who's doing it and not for the interest of both of us collectively.
So
I think that's the caveat is often and can. That definition is similar to the other ones, but often and can is the caveat in that. I just wanted to add that.
Okay,
so in the terms I've experienced manipulation, or I've ever heard of it or witnessed it, it was always for a personal gain. It wasn't for the gain of both parties. All parties involved wasn't evenly being treated fair.
Are you in control of your family?
Am I in control of my family?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you do it in a way that is the best for everyone in the family?
Absolutely.
That's positive manipulation. Okay. You're manipulating the family. You're controlling it.
No, I don't call that manipulation. I just call it leadership.
Leadership is
the problem is
you can call it whatever you want. We can all call it whatever the fuck we want. I'm not gonna say, you're not gonna convince me to say that I'm manipulating my family.
Hey, Darwin, it's not
trying to do. Just hold tight.
They're not saying it in a negative light. It's just reality. I'll answer your
question.
Kenny.
They saying it in a negative, positive, whatever. You're not gonna witness Darwin McPherson say, "Hey, I'm manipulating my family." I'm not gonna use the term in that way.
Darwin, how did you make this a negative and start puffing up your chest? We don't pay
my chest is my chest is naturally like that. I'm sorry. I lift. So
Oh, you gonna tell me that with the extra?
Your eyes may be manipulating your perception of how I appear in the panel.
Why you always gotta be tough? Like somebody can't tickle you and make you laugh.
Pause.
Damn.
You ain't that hard, B. Not that tough.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, the gooch is here.
Yeah. That's what I like. I chase him off in this hut.
Scared him.
It wasn't meant to be a negative.
No, it's not meant to be negative.
If you choose to take just the negative inference, that means the conversation isn't fair in good faith. Every man has been manipulated. Every man here has been manipulated in some way by a woman.
Facts.
That's true, but
Let me ask you.
guys,
Let me say this one thing real quick, Shannon, and I'm gonna let you have it. Kenny, if a woman walked up to you that you wanted to date, and she said, "Hey, look, I want to be with you, and I'm gonna manipulate you," do you look at that as a positive or a negative?
She'd be a bad manipulator if she said that.
Yeah,
she probably would say, "I'm gonna make you great."
But you understand, they all gonna do that.
That's not
okay. To answer your question, if that was to me, her outcomes would, her percentages of success would be very low if that's what she leads with. Is that fair?
So listen, guys,
being skillful.
manipulation. I know what we're doing. We're getting into semantics here. We kind of sometimes it derails these conversations. Manipulation, and this what Darwin is saying. Basically, manipulation is subterfuge. That's what it is. It's deceit. That's what it is. So, and you can encourage, you can incentivize, you can coerce. That's a little physical force. But when we use the word manipulation in America in 2024 in our Western world, manipulation is typically assigned to something negative or some sort of deceit. For instance, if your woman says, "Baby, I forgot to put gas in the car tonight. I'll suck your dick if you go do it for me." There's a positive for him. Now, what you guys are basically saying, well, she just manipulated. No, but what Darwin is saying is, but I'm getting something out of it. And she's keeping 100 with me, and that's not necessarily a manipulating. It could be, but
that's an ultimatum.
That's definitely manipulating.
That's not manipulation. No, because she's giving something and she's telling the truth and she's giving you something for the work that you're doing. It's not manipulation, you guys. It's just she's incentivizing you to go put gas in the car. Now, anyway. If she was going to if she tells you, "I tried to put gas in the car, but I didn't know how to get the gas cap off," and she just never went to the gas station, and so now you go to the gas station. She deceived you. She deceived you. She got you to do something by not giving you the whole information and telling you essentially a lie to get you to do something for her benefit. That's different than offering you something for you doing the work.
So it would be manipulation.
I know JR had us on a different question, but I don't want us to lose track.
No, we're not. We're going to stay right where we at, Shannon.
Yeah,
real quick. The video we just watched, was that in good faith what he said the woman did? Regarding
no, it wasn't. That's what he was. No, it wasn't. When she said, when he said, "I'm taking all your money," the brothers is like, "Yeah, that's manipulation. That's the manipulation part of it." And that's where the brothers was not really agreeing with the wisdom side of it. It was like, well, wait, is that really wisdom or is she manipulating the motherfucker? You can't get. Well, I think it was Trev that said, "You ain't getting my money." So look, I don't give a fuck how you slice it.
Shan, using your same the same tactic you say where you got the head for the gas. He seemed pretty happy, so I'm guessing that he got the head and the ass for the money, so he wouldn't call it. He says the same thing.
He may not. It depends. But if she's doing it unscrupulously, if she's doing it because she's smart enough and been around enough old men and knows where they keep their bread and knows what to say to them, and then when he go to sleep, she's digging in scratch. She's taking 100s, but not taking she's taking the credit card, but not the wallet. If she got that kind of wisdom, that's manipulation. That's thief. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get so caught up into the semantics. Let's talk about the conversation on wisdom versus knowledge. That was such a great thing. Now we're arguing over what manipulation really means.
Yeah.
I can see that point.
Thanks, Marcus.
Correct and real.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why you gotta have Shannon to create the contrast. God damn.
Like,
Hey,
I
but
thought he was gonna come in this motherfucker like, you know what, man? Fuck all this. Goddamn manipulation is bad. I can hear him right now.
Yeah, but manipulation ain't bad.
And
But
if you don't believe me, you try me, and I'll show you what manipulation is.
hey, what you think about that, brother? Go ahead, come off mute.
Come on, Hank, you got to give us that.
Look, I'm gonna let you live, dog, because the gooch is on your ass right now. So I ain't gonna.
Pause. You said.
Oh,
Hey, let me get to these. Let me get to these super chat.
I'm too old for the pause shit, so fuck it.
Dedicated to my children's future, $10 says salute to the men. King talk forever. Harrison Davis, $2 salute. Harrison Davis again says salute. Hink singing a thin line between love and hate. It's good comedy this late at night. You were singing, Hink? Did I miss it?
Nah, I put the words in the chat.
Oh, you put it in the chat. Okay, I thought you might have did it on one of your shows. Busy Phony Baby Zaddy, $2 says love equals strength, vulnerability equals weakness. I think everybody has contributed. That's following the show. We're going to call it an early night tonight. I know some people had to get up out of here. Hink was about 5 minutes from sending me a message. I already know. But anyway, man, it's good conversation tonight, brothers. Let's make sure we support each other. I know we had Luis fall off, but check out everybody's IG, see what they got going on. A lot of these brothers on the panel have YouTube channels, and they live stream and upload videos and content. So let's make sure we show them the same support that we show over here. With that being said, thank everybody. Anybody that's watching the replay, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe. I want to thank everybody that was active tonight in the chat and as well off the chat and just watching for wherever you may be. Y'all make sure y'all be safe out there. Another bang in the books, and we out, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, gentlemen.